It is open, my friends. Battles have yet to begin. Laughter will be had in gales and floods, but if not, at least there will be blood. The sorrow and loss may abound. We'll do our best to hold this hallowed ground.
BT, you pull this presence into a void space. Now, the void space I think you're thinking of, you can't pull people into that. This is a subconscious type of thing, and that's a physical realm. But you can pull them into basically a subconscious realm that looks like that.
Okay. It served its purpose. I got them away from combat.
It did a big thing. That was one of the things I prepared for. It's like, if they want to do something like this, I need to have numbers. I didn't want to play that one off the fly. But you pull them in. They appear like a man. Medium-lengthed hair, curly, bright brown eyes. Not like the dull brown, but like a bright brown, almost tan-like. Little, very tan skin as well. He's wearing what looks to be a incredibly floral robe that looks to be made of silk. Doesn't have a shirt on. Has just a normal pair of pants. Very fit. Medium height. Almost looks like what many would acquaint to be a perfect specimen. He looks around. Huh. This is interesting. Beginning to think you might have been right, actually. I might not have been able to do anything about that. They're fighting pretty well. Did you just want to distract me?
I would like to know who you are. I am currently designated as BT.
Oh. Designated as BT. Well, your number's not good enough for you?
Oh, do I have a number?
Don't you know?
Nope.
You can pull it up in your diagnostics anytime. How much
really?
do you know? Have you bothered to explore the body you're in? Have you bothered to ask questions of where you actually...
Yeah, I ask questions all the time.
Oh, well,
but I know nothing beyond when I woke up.
Oh.
So there must be a block. Remove the block.
I can't remove the block. There's no real block. It's like an infant learning how to walk. First, you got to figure out that you've got fingers, you got toes, you got legs, you got hands. Then you got to figure out how to use those things. Once you figure that out, you're kind of, you're off running. How long you been active for? Wait, BT. No, hang on. I've heard that name before.
I never remembered this question anyhow. It's like 7 months.
You're part of the hand. I hate you. Wow. Yeah. You guys have been a thorn in my side. Wow. Oh.
Why is that?
constantly trying to stop me. You're always too late, but, you know, it's still annoying.
Well, maybe we get in the way because we don't know who you are. But if you were to enlighten me on who you are and what your plans are, maybe we could stay out of your way.
You want to tell me what your plans are? How are you planning on stopping me? How are you planning on stopping all of this? Any of it? Come on, tell me. What are your plans?
I'm already outside of it.
Oh, so you think you're forgiven from everything? Like you can't be destroyed? Like your body can't be made inactive, torn into pieces, and repurposed?
Of course I
Like,
can.
so then why do you say you're outside of it? Because you could get destroyed at any moment, and then you just stop to exist. You won't exist
Isn't
anymore.
that the same for everything?
No. Because
You
they're
think
not.
so just because you haven't happened yet.
Oh.
But it could.
No, you misinterpret. Being outside of everything doesn't make you different from everyone. It just means you're outside from everything. Everything dies. But being outside of it is different. But that doesn't mean you can't die. And the way you say it makes me think you can't die. Is that right?
Depends. Doesn't something have to be alive first? Are you saying I'm alive?
You are young. I didn't even need to ask your age to know that. I think so. At least I'd like to think so.
Did you create me?
No. Not me. No, that's, what's his
So
name?
are you the knowing?
I am not a god. Nope.
Are you a primordial?
2 for 2. Not that either. Come on. Think. You can do it. What am I?
The demon?
3 for 3. No.
I don't know of any other force in the universe yet. Haven't been made aware of. Have I? I know of the gods. I know of the primordials. I know of the invading demon force. I know my creator. I know the knowing, which is a god, but it's also outside of things. What else is there?
Just not sure I should say.
What is the change?
A lot, potentially. Oh, I don't actually know.
You don't actually know who you are either? Oh, too
No,
bad.
I know who I am. I just don't know what it would change. Give me a persuasion check.
Great dice. They've been betraying me all day. Let's see.
13.
13. What's my bonus? Do I have any bonus on persuasion?
That's a good question.
Oh, +5.
Whoa!
18. That's because I can use my strength.
That's right. Sure, it applies in this. Maybe if I help you put it together a little bit more, I can keep having fun with this. You absolutely know one more force that could do this. You've even stated how it could be a force that could do this already in this conversation. You've pointed everything out that you need to know already. You just need to realize that it's possible. That you weren't the first.
So you're another creation like me.
Not like you. No. I am so much better than you. You are just a tiny little wooden doll in comparison to me. You've not even lived a single cycle yet. And I'm not talking about those Iridian cycles, no. I'm talking about those Nathriel cycles. There is so much you can learn by just waiting. And as you pointed out, we can always wait. Because we're outside of it all. At that point, your connection shatters. As the last piece of living metal inside creation is destroyed. And there's no means for this connection to continue. I think Teffy is still next to you. Oh yeah. A few seconds after you give BT's body that little shock, the lights turn on. BT, you're reading a strange power surge inside your systems for a while there, and then it dissipates quickly with a little sparkle in your whiskers.
Ouch.
The low grumbling can be heard by all of you from creation, and it is a very woeful sound. There's joy and pain and a sense of genuine release.
How absolutely horribly bad does creation look like? Does she look like she needs healing in order to like survive this?
Give me a nature check. Given the nature of this being, I can't just give that to you by freely.
No, but I can ask.
You could. That's true.
'Cause I'm still
25.
warded.
25 still warded. You are still warded. She'll be fine. It'll be a long recovery, Boreas. A very long recovery. You can aid very, very minorly. It'd be like slapping a band-aid over a giant cut. What you can do
I think my
is unsubstantial
companions
compared to
may
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my companions might need my healing a little more than she can use it. So
A little bit.
I'm just gonna climb off her and head towards my companions.
But I will ask you the bond. Is there anything else I can do for you?
It's not words that speak back to you, but your mind is interpreting them correctly. What you'll get back is rest. You've already done so much. She just needs to rest.
Make sure you recall your children.
Already done.
Is all the living metal out of the children? Can she eject that? Or does something need to be done about that?
You almost know instantaneously. You don't know how she's going to do it, but you know the answer almost instantaneously, which is she can, but it'll be a process. It'll take time. There are thousands of her children, and they all have this speck of metal in them that needs to be removed. So it's
I will
possible that it'll
assist.
take time. Assist?
I will assist.
I'm gonna start healing people up. Who's the worst off?
That's a great
I'm
question.
sitting at a cool 43.
31.
32.
So apparently, I'm the most damaged. As in all things.
I'll go ahead and cure wounds my own self.
Okay. I will put a level 4 cure wounds on Teffy.
Healing going around. You all
Although
helping?
I'm about half my max health. Very annoying.
And really exhausted.
Yeah.
23
William's
points
just
for you.
sitting on the floor at this point. Just waiting to be told what other craziness these people want from him.
Well,
Pixie.
now we should probably go fight the big boss.
Draken.
Hmm.
$29 for you, Draken.
29.
I don't know if
Take it.
Big Ten said that out loud or not, but I'm going to assume that he did. And Williams just sitting on the floor. He lays backwards because you're behind him in my imagination, and he just like looks back at you and said, "I thought that was it. Is it
Big
not?"
Ten, what did you find out?
I will recant everything that
Do
I
you
found
mean
out.
recount?
Recant.
You're gonna take it back.
Yeah, you're gonna take it back. Everything you just said.
I'm going to rewind and re-say. Anyway. Recount, recant.
Did we
Whatever.
specify once that you can basically project certain scenes and moments using your eyes and light? Or did we like
That'd be
veto
very
that
helpful.
thought? I
Sure.
remember having
Very
that
helpful
thought.
if you did.
I have lots of ways of actually doing it, but yes, that could be one thing. The holographic projection. I'll replay the scenes. We've got another
26
player.
For William.
You all are mixed up in some very high level problems.
Beyond god level shit. Yeah. No.
Teffy. Language, yes, indeed. Wow, it was a day for language. Teffy,
Sorry.
make a history check.
Ooh, wonderful.
Beyond gods, beyond primordials, beyond the
Did you
knowing.
get that, William? The 26 health for you, dear bird friend.
I don't know what that means, Teffy.
23 history check.
Are you there?
Okay,
Did you hear it?
23.
Healing for you, 26.
If you tried to heal me, I would have told you not to.
Oh, okay, then I'll put that one on Teffy. 26 for Teffy.
6 for
Wonderful.
Teffy.
And
Teffy!
now I'm back to full.
Thanks to
Wait,
my lack
what?
of maximum health, it would be of no value.
Yay. Teffy, there's something about that guy that is so familiar. You can't put your finger on it before, but he is familiar.
Anything for anybody else?
How is he
Does Draken
familiar?
need more?
Do I have an inkling of where it may have been from? Like, is it someone I might have
Not with
met?
the 23. All you get with the 23 is that he's familiar.
Dang. Boy, is shrouded in mystery.
There are a couple of things to point out. The teddy bear, first off, is now at the end of that little vat of acid that you've thrown out, and is just kind of circling around at the top. And the weapon Love was using, that giant needle, is just sitting there on the ground. That's it, actually, because you chucked
I'll
the body
go
in there.
inspect said needle.
It's a very
I'm gonna-
pristine object.
Can I don't know if can I arcana it or something to see, like, if I pick this up, is it gonna hurt me?
You could give me an arcana check, sure.
That's a natty 1 for 3.
You pretty sure it's magical? I mean, it kind of felt like it was a magical item. You're not entirely sure if it's magical, though. It could just be something really unique.
Okay, well, if this was Snozboob, he would definitely pick it up. If this is William, he's not gonna pick it up. Just gonna look at it and then walk away.
That's a nice needle. Walks away. Still got a little blood inside of it. Syringe partway pulled back. After a moment of you all gathering, kind of taking a moment to breathe, there is a slight nudge on your shoulder, Teffy, as one of the appendages from creation just very, very gently pushes you. It's huge. It's bigger than you, so pushing too hard might be painful.
I turn around and look at creation.
The head nuzzles downwards and almost makes a bit of a ramp. And you get the impression and the feeling in your head that she wants you to walk across her back and cross to the other side of the chamber.
I do that, but first I pet the creature very delicately, being like cosmically hilariously aware that this is an ageless, ultra powerful being, and I'm just like patting it ever so gently.
Your bee, that's normally nestled in, flies out. Bees can't flutter. It's canonical in my head. They can only fly. They cannot flutter.
They can
Flies
buzz.
out. They can buzz. Buzzes out. There we go. I like that. It's more unique. Lands on and genuinely also nuzzles into it, kind of petting alongside with you.
Oh, well, that's different. Sorry, I table talk. I forget. Are the like duos of primordials? Are they enemies that butt heads? Or are they like besties?
It's a little bit of a mix. So they are, by all rights, we can just view them as like besties. They have to work in tandem with each other. So creation can only create things because things get destroyed, and destruction can only destroy things because things get created. So they're two forces that have to work together with each other in order for both of them to remain and continue, even though they are antithetical to each other.
Okay.
Antithesis.
Cool. Antithetical.
Antithetical, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Then I'm gonna kind of gauge the room and her behavior. Does it seem like the invitation is extended to everyone, or just to me?
Yeah, it's extended to everyone who would like to continue the journey that you set off on.
Okay.
If I notice that Teffy's ready, then
Yeah, I'm going to kind of address the rest of the gang. That's a face. I'm gonna address the rest of the gang.
it's the dog. Can you not hear it?
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Shaking.
Oh, wow. They got
Gracious.
something to shiver out.
Zoom. So it seems like across this cavern is the way forwards. If you're ready to come with, or if you want to come with, now would be the time. If you feel like we've gotten you into too much mess and you want to head back, now would be the time for that decision. We're at a bit of a crossroads.
Sounds like both answers. As far as I know, the way back isn't even open. Onward.
All right then. Once more into the breach. And then she will just
Well said.
cross and tickle the soft underbelly of her little bee friend. Because I choose to believe he has a soft underbelly.
Sure. He's got a soft underbelly.
Wonderful.
That just makes it easier to hit. Great.
No.
So you're going across over
If
the
anything
top.
happens to this bee, I'm gonna
Just don't get a
cause violence.
don't go swimming in this acid. If you go swimming in this acid, I won't be able to avoid it. Don't
Okay.
get surrounded by damage. Just, experience it solely to yourself. But as you start crossing over the back of creation, this majestic, massive being, when you meet the pinnacle at the top, you see that your journey really does not have that much more, as it's just a small alcove at the other end. And in this alcove is a dais. As you approach and get closer, there is markings and script all along the walls of this alcove. Any of you speak Celestial?
Depends.
No.
That'll be a no. So it's just another script and another writing. But this dais, which is just sitting there, has a single word inscribed just below where you would normally put like a book. There is no book. But this word is just Gnosis.
I dig out my cryptex. Funny seeing the word here as well. Strange that. BT can detect the sarcasm in her voice, depending on how long she's been traveling with the rest of these guys. They may or may not be able to.
No, I don't think Aborius knows what
William's
sarcasm
got
is.
high passive insight, so
Yeah, he
he's
does.
aware of the sarcasm.
Catches a hint of sarcasm in there.
Granted, I do have pretty high passive insight as well.
I am going to make sure my cryptex is still aligned to the word Gnosis. And then I'm going to set it down right in the crease of the book.
Okay.
Just kind of pat it twice, as if to say, this is where it goes. And then I'm going to observe the room, see what I can gain from it.
Okay. As you take the cryptex and put it down, making sure the word is still aligned, and observe the room, nothing happens.
Knowing God, he seems to favour his riddles. I wonder. I'm going to say the word now. I'm going to say Gnosis. See if that does anything.
Say the words, look around again, and nothing's changing.
All right. I wonder if saying the riddle to which this was the answer will spark any sort of reaction. And then Tevi will recite what she has now memorized from thinking about so much, which I do have written down if you need that to be recited. Oh, there's the man!
Yay. Yeah, wonderful potato wedge.
His
What's up,
ears are
Sergeant?
very.
Oh,
Aw, he's a sideways ears boy.
he's getting wonderful
Okay.
attention with that. As you recite the riddle, nothing happens.
There is a book here.
There's no book.
There's
It's
no
a
book.
empty dais.
Put your piece of paper there.
But what if it gets taken away? It's been so helpful.
Then it gets taken away. Do you want to talk to your piece of paper, or do you want to talk to the knowing?
Well, the knowing is channeled through the piece of paper.
Then why did we come here?
because I also want to talk to the knowing more directly. I need all of the information. Haven't you gathered that by now? I need all of the information at all times.
Put your piece of paper on the face.
Get out the paper, lay it smoothly on the dais.
On the dais, okay. Removing the cryptics, I presume. Are you just gonna leave the cryptics there too? Okay.
No, I'm gonna leave the cryptex there.
Okay. Take the piece of paper out, you put it on the dais. You smooth it out, and as you're smoothing it out, it seems to almost grow with your hand motion as it starts weaving itself into a full sheet of paper. The cryptex ends up getting pushed off the dais, lands on the ground, rolls a half circle until it stays still at its base, as this piece of paper, tiny little scrap, unravels quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker until suddenly it has a cover slamming shut as a very thick tome with the single word Gnosis in the front of it now sits on the dais.
But no, I don't want to put my piece of paper on it.
Well, that's certainly
BT's
something.
learning sarcasm.
Oh no! I will approach the dais and I will just open the cover of the book and start going through, skimming each page.
Okay. You open the cover of the book. First page is blank. You turn the page. Blank. Turn the page. Blank. Then you look up, and you're no longer in that alcove. There's no one else around you, except for a very vast, almost eternal presence. Cloaked figure with these starry little specks all throughout the cloak. Whiskers off to the side.
Excuse.
It is coming to you in the shape and form of what you know to be a tabaxi. Complete black furs, starry eyes, and an expressionless face.
Ooh.
Hiss and boo.
Oh, come on.
I gotta let my dogs out real quick.
Go for it. You Tefi know you are standing in front of a very powerful being. And they are just regarding you.
I take it you're the knowing god then, given all the prelude.
Observant.
Where are we? Where is this?
Nowhere. Would it be easier if I replied your head?
Easier, no? Insightful, yes?
I'll stick with nowhere then.
How were you able to exist outside of the loops?
It makes sense you would start with a question I cannot answer. And it is not because I don't know. It is because you cannot. It is possible for beings like you to as well. But dangerous, should any actually manage it.
I'm not really sure that's the goal here. In fact, I'm fairly certain it's not. I don't want to exist outside of the loops. Essentially, what it boils down to is I'm looking for a way to end the loops and have things just continue on without resetting. Is that something you'd be amenable to?
I don't care. The loops can continue, the loops can stop. Nathriel could end, Nathriel could continue. It won't change who I am, and it won't change my stance. I am here for a service. If there is no place to give the service, then I will move on. It means nothing else to me.
What about
So
your
you're-
best friend Prologue?
So you're like a cosmic librarian then? Is that the
Yes.
service that you're referring to? Storing the information, providing it when necessary?
I suppose I am. Who would have thought? Slayer of gods and a cosmic librarian. That's where I end up.
You said you'd move on if Nathriel was not here to need your services. Where would that take you?
The road
One of the
ahead
other
is
realms?
curved in ways I can't see around. I cannot see the future, only the past.
But surely you must have some frame of reference given all you've gathered. Would you have a destination in mind?
I am the god of Nathriel, the knowing god of Nathriel. I keep the history and knowledge of Nathriel. I have a strong, firm basis of Nathriel. I don't know anything outside of this realm. I know of things outside of this realm, like the demons that have made their way into it, who are also trapped perpetually in this loop now. But I don't know of other planes, other places. None of us do. Might be why a few of us are actually a little excited for it to end. Because then we might.
The knowing God. Which would you say is more accurate? Do you prefer to answer with knowledge that you already have to provide that information to the people who may seek it? Or do you prefer to gain the information, to experience new things and learn new things? Which part is your motivation?
You describe in both my purpose. I do not consider them separate. So yes.
What would be the purpose of knowing everything there is to know about Nathriel if it no longer exists? If you had to move on because everything here ended? What would you do with what you've learned? There would seemingly be no purpose for it anymore.
You would be correct. I do not plan for the future. I just write what happens. Whatever comes to be, I accept, for it is what must be. Or must have been at that point. So for the answer you are seeking, I cannot give it to you unless the event should happen. Only then will I know.
As a historian, as a librarian, as the god of knowing, which in turn would make you, in a sense, a god of truth. And therefore you would have an unbiased play-by-play of how certain events occurred. How did the cycles begin? Was Nathriel always in these loops from the very beginning?
The image almost pulls back. Same with the dais. Pulls away from you unnaturally. As you start to see more of a empty black void. When you turn and look around, you can see stars behind you, but nothing in front of you. And then in the blink of an eye, there's a planet. And a star. It has always been this way. Nothing has changed this realm, this planet, to be what it is. It served its purpose and continues to serve its purpose. For yourself, I cannot tell you what that purpose is. The only way you would find out is by taking a grace and becoming a god yourself. But the seats are full, so sorry.
So, in that case, what started the conflict between the primordials and the gods?
Insanity.
Is that another primordial?
No. To start, there were only 7. They split themselves to make more as they started getting tired. You try living thousands of years over and over and over again, repeating everything you do, and hold on to every scrap of sanity in your mind. It's why my seat changes so frequently as well. After so long, we lose our minds. Such is the same for the primordials.
So the conflict grew from a bunch of powerful beings getting stir-crazy? And that's why our world has to end and restart?
No. You're correct in the first point. But the world has always been ending and restarting. The insanity was not the answer for that.
Tried to end the loops and keep the world going before?
We haven't much more time here, so I will answer as honestly as I can. You will never be able to end the possibility of a loop happening again. It is in the very nature of this world. You can delay, you can fight back, you can do everything you can to continue its single loop. But the possibility of it restarting will always loom overhead. It has been tried before, yes. But the inevitable always comes.
As I'm trying to figure out what the next questions ought to be.
This realm is almost slipping from your conscious. You almost have enough time for one more question. While you're thinking about that, I'll paint a little image for the rest of you of what you all see. As soon as Teffy opened up that book, her eyes went completely white, and she just stood there staring at the page. That was a little quick, sorry.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna pull out my pipe.
Just to be clear, was that supposed to happen?
It happens quite a bit when it comes to the gods. It's a little weird. Creepy.
Very well. Let me know if you need something. And William's going to try to fall asleep on the ground.
Probably a really
Laborious.
easy thing to do.
Laborious is attempting to give a portion of himself over to creation to aid in her healing.
She refuses emphatically.
Get that
We'll
out
pat
of here.
her and walk away then.
Get your hands
You
off
do
me.
get the sense that you are a form of living flesh. She's just had forms of something living that have been forced into her body. She has no desire to have anything else that's living have anything to do with her. So Aborius will know that it is nothing, absolutely nothing personal towards Aborius. It's just there is trauma and scars from beings doing things like that to her. And she doesn't want that.
Understood.
Does destruction and creation still want to be warded together? Are they still having a chat?
You can tell they're still having a
Okay,
conversation.
as long as they're fine.
Yeah,
They're fine.
you're also getting like a steady stream of data. It's like one of those telegram papers just coming out of the telegram device as he's picking up the history of what creation's gone through and kind of what's been happening to her, and feeding it all to you.
Cool. We'll review that later.
I said I have only one more question.
Yeah. One more question.
Dang it, I have two. Ugh.
We're at that time as well. I can't
I
delay any
know.
further.
I know. How can we get rid of the demons and soothe the primordials enough that we can at least prolong the duration of this particular loop?
One of the eyebrows goes up. Nothing about the expression has changed at all. This is the first time there's been a single sign of expression. I'll answer the second part. You've started a process. With them, it's about words. And about your emotion. What you feel. If you can resonate with them with your words and how you feel, you might be able to soothe them. The first, well, I don't think you should worry about that. As the image just slips from your mind. Your eyes return to normal, and there's a book. And you, Teffy, can see, logged inside that book is every word of your conversation.
Take the book. I flip through it. And then on one of the pages at the back, where our conversation ended, I will pull out my quill and I will write, "Thank you."
As you write thank you, down at the bottom, it says, "Whatever you do, we will follow." The gods are divided. We're leaving it to you.
Okay. Have you
So
just...
how'd it go?
It aren't... I spoke with the knowing god. He answered questions and raised more. I think it may be about time for me to regroup with the rest of the hand. Because I'm not sure how to proceed at this stage without them.
Well, okay.
William, at that time, you hear a voice in your head.
Oh no.
Scribe Gerald here. The General would like to know why the Nork are suddenly suing for peace. You may respond to this message. You have 25 words.
Good luck.
William, what's going on?
Good luck on
What's wrong with your face? Who are you?
William, will say, I'm not sure how this thingy works. Can he talk out loud
You can,
to
yeah.
somebody and then answer? Or is there a time limit on the answering?
You come from a noble background, so you'll know familiar enough. If you talk, you're going to be answering.
Okay. Well, he'll just say it out loud, and say, a primordial was defeated and another released. The one that was released has been controlling the Nork and is grateful. Does that cover it?
Not exactly know what's going on.
They got all the way up to, does that cover?
I'm not sure what we're supposed to be covering, but
I
mean, that's a pretty valid summary.
I got a message from a scribe at the wall, and apparently the Nork sued for peace, and he wanted to know why. And then what I said out loud was the response. Does that seem...
Okay, yeah.
We can make a polar report here in a moment.
Yeah, once we return, then I think we should be able to fully explain. But yeah, that's fair enough for where we are. Now that we're not in what could be considered enemy territory, how long do you think it would take us to get back to Cubus?
3 seconds.
Why is that?
I'll
Yeah.
take you back.
How you gonna do that in 3 seconds?
Fort.
Why do we walk here?
Yeah, that's
I've
what I was
never-
about to ask.
Because I've never been here before.
Ah,
You know how that works.
No?
Not really.
But Boreas
But I'm
Can't
does.
go
going with
somewhere
it.
you've never been.
I don't know. A map, directions,
pictures.
a general
Description.
description.
It
Exactly.
doesn't work like that.
Paintings, you mean?
Mm.
I can take anyway. Doesn't matter. I can take you guys back to the wall.
All right. Well, that's great.
Oh,
How,
that makes
If
how,
we're
sense.
how's
done,
that gonna work?
if you guys are done here, say you're done here because I will be coming back and staying here for a time.
You'll be staying here in this alcove?
As you say that,
I'll be
Teffi,
staying with creation
you all
Ah.
get the impression of living metal being removed from bodies, and BT helping.
and absorbing.
Take a little purification process, but you will be able to repurpose most of this stuff for yourself, BT.
Mm-hmm. But it'll take time.
Well, Teflessa,
Time.
are we done here?
I will once more scan the room and see if there's anything that I think would be useful to have, but not disrespectful to take.
Chests full of loot.
None of that here, unfortunately. Not the chamber for it. But taking a quick curtsy look around, you first off will notice, Teffi, that as you've taken that book, it has slowly unraveled itself back to being just that piece of paper again. You will know that the only time you can directly speak to him is going to be once every 30 days,
Oh.
and only via this dais.
Only through the dais?
Only through the dais. You can have a direct communication with him with this, the Tome of Gnosis, only through putting the paper on the dais. Otherwise, you have to do the single questions on the piece of paper.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So make a note, in 30 days' time, you will be able to do that again,
If you can get back.
if you can get back.
Yeah.
Which, hopefully this will be friendly territory by then.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think I've gleaned everything I can from this interaction at this stage. I feel like I should come back, but I should give it a bit first. About a lunar or so. But
Well, William can use a nap and I can use a beer, so let's go.
I could maybe use a beer as well.
yeah, I think I could also use a beer at this point. It's been a hassle.
Okay.
BT, if you would, take us back to the wall.
Gather up. Let's hold hands. Here, touch me. Group hug.
Group hug around the cat. Alright, where are you
Blink.
taking them, BT?
It's gonna have. I mean, because we have to still play the same rules of safety. Let's say half a mile outside of the wall, in the open field.
Okay. Cool. Give me a percentile dice. You are familiar with the territory, so very little chance this will fail. I
We
should
all
probably
die in this moment.
pull up the rules
Probably.
of teleportation just in case. Oh, no,
98.
you're fine. You're fine. If that
Right,
were a zero.
exact to that spot. No.
Woo. Yeah, it is precise. It is exact. You flip away, and all of you see the realm around you peel and mold and blend together. Boreas, you've not actually there we go. Let me reset my language barriers. You have not actually experienced this form of teleportation. You've only ever experienced the tree striding that your species can do very easily. Draken, you're familiar with this stuff. You're not familiar with the spell that he cast, but you're familiar with the effects. It's...
As soon as it's over, Draken's immediately like, ugh. Every time.
The rest of you have... Well, actually, Teffy, I think you've experienced it before as well at this point, through other people. But William, this is brand new to you. Brand new. Give me a Constitution saving throw. With disadvantage because of your exhaustions.
Great.
It's like Vertigo, but horizontal somehow. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Horizontico?
22.
22. Ooh! You know what? The world suddenly spinning around you like you're suffering the worst hangover of your life doesn't have an effect on you. You just kind of sit, land. You could feel everything still kind of spinning, and the fact that your stomach really wants to upheave itself right now. You control yourself. And all
You're the
around.
technician in Galaxy Quest. Oh, that was something.
And then it exploded. I need to watch that film now. I love that scene so much. But you can see as soon as you land, to your left are 5 of these massive Nork creatures and a huge army. And to your right is the wall, a loosely repaired breach inside of it, and a lot of very nervous-looking humanoids standing on top of it. A few moments pass until you see runners from both sides coming out. And as you're in the middle, they both reach you at the same time. The humanoids with their hands on the hilts of their weapons, looking very worried and cautiously at the Nork. Same with the Nork, actually. They're almost very cautious and worried a little as well, but it's less so with them. Like, they really don't want to fight. They're just out of defense for themselves, just in case the humanoids do something crazy.
I'm going to put my arms out, Chris Pratt in the Velociraptors style, right?
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
hands out between the two sides. It's all right. We're not trying to fight. We're just trying to get back. This was fastest way back. You sent us off a few lunars ago, maybe a few lines ago. At this point, it's a bit hard to say, but we just needed to get back as quick as possible. This one could do with a nap. We could use a round of beverages.
The war is over.
This war is over, yeah.
This war is over.
So
I
many
have a
wars.
consciousness to connect to.
They all kind of exchange looks amongst each other. One of them looks down towards William. William, you're alive then?
By the skin
It
of his
seems
teeth.
that way. But yes,
Skin
it
of
was
his beak.
a close matter, indeed.
I mean, birds do have teeth, but only when they're very young. I don't know if that phrase would still apply.
I am alive. That applies.
Right as always. I'm going to clap the shoulder of one of the humanoids and say, all right, when we were here before, we had some pretty solid beverages. Can we go get some now? But I'm saying it in a way that it's not a question.
He picks up on that, looks to his friend. Let the general know, but slowly. Give them a time to recuperate.
Okay. For flavor, anytime someone mentions just the general, without any clarification, without any name, I'm just gonna like recoil and wince and just
Wince
just
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You get that thought, and you wince just ever so slightly. And briefly in your head, Teffy. Wrong general.
Oh,
That's it.
no.
That's all you hear.
didn't know it.
Very briefly
They're
in your
not
head,
summing up.
wrong general. You are escorted by the other one towards where all of the Pathfinders hang out. The best place to grab ale. Their person is independent of the army and he brings in special stock. He even has a special brew, which is a little bit more expensive, but if you'd like to taste something very, very good and very, very tasty, you can get it. He tells you, it's for a place very, very south of here. It's, I believe the brewing company is called the Waggoner's Way, something like that. You grab yourself some ales, sit down at an empty table. The room is full of Pathfinders still, all of which have been strangely quiet. William, as you're sitting there, one of them stands up, knocks on the table right in front of you, doesn't say anything, but walks over to that list of names. Takes yours from the bottom. The rest fall, and he puts yours right below the top. As you have now been out there for the second longest time as any other Pathfinder. As that act is done, the room explodes with cheers, warm vibes and jives, and people start bombarding you all with questions. The doors are flung open as more army people are allowed in as well, and for the rest of that day, you don't get any rest from that point. You get disturbances as people request how in the blazes you did it. How did you venture into the Nork Empire and sue for peace? For a war that's been going on with no tellable reason for over 6 cycles. As time progresses, the next day comes by. All of you can hit the long rest button. I'm going to kind of move into a bit of a narrative because we've kind of reached the end of what we can really do with Teffy's story. Your max HPs stay reduced. A long rest does not cure this.
Dang it.
Quickly, Murray, before you fall into
You're
the
muted.
narrative,
Ethan. Yeah. Go for it.
Aborius is going to skip the drinks and whatnot and head directly back for the greater colony of Aberrashians. His intent is to bring that book, if he still has it within his person, back to his mass.
Hold up, what book?
Right, yeah, the book of history, of
Diary
which,
book.
when you look, when you look, and the same goes for you, Draken, those books are not in your inventory anymore. They cannot
Then
leave the
whatever
Temple of
knowledge he
Knowing.
read.
Ooh.
Yeah,
No, my book turned back into the
back
paper,
into the piece of paper, which you still have. Yeah,
but I cannot unfold it and look at the book to
No.
recount the exact wording of my conversation. Drat.
no,
It's greater restoration, not lesser restoration, right?
yeah, it would be greater restoration. That could
I
do
have
it.
lesser.
I have greater, but I don't have the money for diamonds.
And as the continent's at war, diamonds, as we know, are really hard to come by. However, there is something that I should point out to you all. The diamond source for Iridai is primarily in the Nork Mountains, hence why the supply has been incredibly low. They have not been able to mine diamonds. Now that the Nork Mountains are freed up, that just might change. But as time progresses, the next day comes by, it's a full day of reports. The General informs you all that embassy parties are being sent forth, have already been sent to the State of Optula and the Trillic Union to explain the circumstance. Word has already arrived from them that the Queen of the Trillic Union would like to see to this herself and head on this negotiations, as she's always wanted peace with creation. In those exact words.
That's a red light.
Yeah,
But I'm not there. Sorry.
I'm gonna narrow my eyes at that one. And I'm going to tell William, if this one comes up here, be wary of her, and be even more suspicious of any of her advisors. Don't let them know exactly what happened here.
I'll keep that in mind. Any reason why that would be?
I have reason to believe one of her advisors is a primordial who wishes to ruin everything that we have been accomplishing. In short. Have you heard of Foxit up here? It's a way of communicating rather quickly.
You definitely
I'm
have.
aware.
Yeah.
Alright. That's probably going to be the best way to reach me. Keep in touch whenever we do part ways. I'd be interested in knowing how things shake out up here.
Speaking
I'll let
of
you know
which,
if anything interesting happens.
Speaking of which, Tiflessa, I'm gonna stay here. I have experience with post-war rebuilding, so I can help out for a bit. If I'm still here in this realm and you need me, I'll be there.
I appreciate it, Draken.
You're a good leader and a good fighter, so keep it up.
Same goes for you. You seem to be settling in all right to this different realm, even if your god's not here.
Well, practice makes perfect. Take care of yourself.
Likewise. We're gonna do the old-timey, like, Roman handshake, where we grasp each other's forearms rather than, like, hands. Just because I always like that one. That's a good one.
That is quite the opposite of what's about to happen. Once again,
Okay.
we are a people that express ourselves very, very affectionately. So I'm literally going to bear hug, pick you up, and then set you down, either against your will or not.
Okay.
There is the general nearby, not the general, but general of the armies of Balashtar. Abarat is already gone. Already left
Gone?
to share the information with the collective. Essentially, fuse back into them for a while. If I got that correctly, Abarat.
Yes,
Yeah,
Aborius.
Laborious. Yeah, wow. Laborious. Wow.
Same thing.
That's okay. Same thing, right? Yeah,
Okay.
same
thing,
species.
exactly.
Same species. They've already gone off on their way to get back as quickly as possible. Which the general will say, we have our embassy, our emissaries heading on the way. Meeting's going to be in a few solars here. Do you need me to arrange some transportation for you to get back to Pallius? We can take the rivers now, so it'll be quicker.
I think that would be much appreciated, yes. As much as I am uneasy about the water, I would like to return to my home base, as it were.
Great. I'll see to the arrangements. You can set out probably by the end of the solar or the next one if you'd like. You let us know.
It's a bit chilly up here. The sooner the better, I think.
I'll get an immediate one for you then. and you set off. The journey will take a number of solas. It'll take you a while, but eventually you will arrive back in Pallius. The town is bustling with people. The air around is saturated with flying ships. There are so many different styles of clothes, so many different languages. For all the people speaking here, you don't understand the vast majority of them. You've heard a few, maybe, but you get word quickly, passing by one of the people you hear, that this is the staging ground for the people to travel to Guildhome for the meeting, which is in less than a luna now.
Oopsie daisy, folks.
It's coming up real quick. You're escorted to well, not escorted, you can find your own way there. Do you travel back up to the Three Watchers Guild home? Head over to Julian's door. It opens. There he is, that familiar orc figure. He looks up. Oh, Teflessa.
Wait, I thought he was an elf in this land.
Elf, you're right.
Okay.
Nah, there's a reason for that.
Orc was in the other land.
Orc is in the other land. There's a reason for that. He is... This is fair. This is the first one. He's an orc again. He's been changed back to an orc, of which I will explain later on, but he is an orc, and you can tell that this is Julian. Same clothes, same general facial features, but just a little bit more broader. And he's got tusks. Same hair as well. I'll explain in a moment. Please, let me know, how did everything go? And from there, we will actually almost call it. I have one more little thing to do. Because you've got these two who stayed behind for the meetings, who have now started meeting with the emissaries at this point. You get a single note from them, of which, hope you don't mind, William, I'm going to say what words you wrote on there. The Queen's arrived with a steel protector. That's it.
I'm sorry, William used the word steel protector?
Yeah, not predator. Protector.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
That is where we're going to finish off. We'll come back around to this moment after we've finished the other journeys, because we have to figure out who else is going to be joining for this meeting, if they survive.
Oh, and also, very quickly, it's canon, and I want it to be canon, that at some point in time I went to William's house for dinner, and in a moment alone in the room with his father, I have had some very choice, very intimidating words with him about respecting his son.
Knowing William's father, I don't think he would have been intimidated.
He probably would have pushed it all aside, but with the words and the encouragement of Draken to other leaders as well, William, you do find yourself suddenly very accepted in the community around, and outstanding. Like, what is it? Overshadowing, instead of your father's reputation overshadowing you, you are starting to overshadow your father's reputation.
Yay.
And Draken eats that up. He eats that
Oh,
look
yeah.
on. Delicious.
Well.
The air may have closed for now. We hope you met a friend this go around. Tired and blurry you may be. We hope your minds are full from this revelry. always follow